Hey y'all, welcome to World History with Miss Osborne. We're going to talk about our syllabus and also sign-in information for Meet the Teacher. I'm Miss Osborne. I graduated from Elon University with a degree in history education and a minor in American studies. I've traveled about 10 different countries and my favorite was Germany because of the historical content. I have a fur baby in the picture named Jillian, Jilly for short, and I'm engaged to my college sweetheart. My favorite part of history is uncovering the mystery of the past. This is my second year as a Golden Hawk, and I'm originally from Durham. I can't wait to learn more about your student and your family. World History is a survey course, meaning that it covers the entire content of world history from prehistory to modern day, and it is a continuation of the K-8 curriculum that starts with the Neolithic Revolution and the Agricultural Revolution and concludes with modern era. We will assess the impact of political, social, and economic and cultural changes on individual societies as well as the scope of history as a whole. We have 9 different units of study, ranging from prehistory to ancient civilizations, the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, European monarchy, Enlightenment, Industrial Revolution, World War I and World War II, the Cold War, and today's world. When students come into class, there's always a warm-up. This might be something from a purple sheet to a KWL, which is what do we already know, what do we want to know, and what have we learned that helps to stimulate metacognitive thinking or thinking about thinking, or an ACES plus C writing practice. The second thing that we always go over is the essential standard. I think it's important that students know what they're learning and are clear about the concepts that they're expected to know, and that allows us to go over that first thing. The Golden Hawk Historian Statement is what they should be able to do by the time that they leave the classroom. We also spend some time reviewing. So what did we learn from our homework? What did we learn yesterday to make sure that students are reinforcing the information? Then we always are doing some sort of student-centered learning activity, whether that's a primary document inquiry activity, a writing assessment, or a research-based project. We also do some projects called jigsaws in which they're broken up into small groups. Think pair shares, class discussions, and debates. We finish class with what did we learn today and how does that relate to what we have previously learned, trying to connect the dots for students so that they understand synthesis across the historical curriculum. We end the class with class announcements. Students will always need a 3-ring binder, 5-tab dividers, notebook paper, a highlighter, and a pencil or blue or black ink pen, and headphones. Headphones are really important because we do a lot of BYOD or bring your own device work. They also might need index cards, and that's up to their discretion. We grade in 3 different categories: major assignments, which are things like tests and projects, minor assignments, which are things such as quizzes and writing samples, and then classwork and homework, which are things such as classwork completion and homework. Most assignments are graded as points. For example, all homework is graded out of 5 points that then convert to percentages in Power Schools. We're on a 10-point grading scale per North Carolina curriculum. Every unit there's going to be classwork daily, homework nightly, even though the nightly homework may be the same couple days in a row, writing assignments, projects, and class discussions, and then 5 common world history tests, as well as other classroom assessments, including quizzes and projects. There's also a cumulative North Carolina final exam. All homework should be completed to the best of students' ability using complete sentences where required. Points will be deducted if answers are left partial or incomplete. There's copies of all the PowerPoints and class notes available on my website. Homework is not to be answered using outside sources and will result in a required hot lunch tutorial and an alternative assignment because this counts as plagiarism. In my class, I flipped my classroom, which means that I have done what is supposed to be happening in class outside of class, and what happens in class used to happen outside of class. To me, this makes more sense because now the lecture, which is usually the part that students are bored and wanting to move ahead or needing to hear again, is now on a recorded device, which means that they are able to listen to it again, they're able to rewind, they're able to fast forward if they need to. I've also found that flipped learning helps busy students, so students who are on the go, because their homework is now on the go. They don't need to carry around a textbook with them. Parents don't have to worry they can't help their child with the homework because it's pretty standard and clear via the video. Flipping also helps struggling students because they're now able to work at their own pace. The learning is now student-centered, not teacher-centered. When students come to class, there's no longer a teacher at the front of the classroom doing a song and dance. The students are instead grappling with material and learning skills. There's also a lot more interaction between the teacher and the student and the student because of that student-centered activity. I have 5 basic rules. Show respect for yourself, your peers, and Miss Osborne. Be on time and prepared. Cell phones are silenced and put away unless otherwise instructed. Follow directions the first time that they are given, and all students are expected to follow all Wake County Public School System and Holly Springs High School policies and procedures. If students choose to break a rule, I will always give 2 warnings. Then parent contact via email or phone. Lunch or after school detention will then be assigned, and lastly, an administrative referral. Extreme behavior may result in immediate removal from the classroom by an administrator. If students choose to follow the rules, they'll be given the opportunity to choose their own seats, an opportunity to choose a class reward, but most importantly, they will be able to learn to the best of their abilities and understand the material taught. I have very high expectations. Students have successfully made it to this class, and therefore they are capable of creating exceptional work. I expect your student to follow all rules, expectations, and procedures with no exceptions. Here at Holly Springs High School, we use the acronym HAWKS. Have respect for self, others, and property. Arrive on time. Work responsibly to succeed. Keep a positive attitude, and safety first. When your student is absent, they are responsible for checking what they may have missed on my website. Students are also responsible for retrieving missing work from me when they get back to class. Students who missed an assignment due to an absent should complete an absent work form and turn in the work due during absence when they return. That absent work form allows me to know that they were absent and that the assignment is not just late. If a student will need additional time on assignments that were due or assigned during an absence, the student should fill out an extra time request form on the due date or upon return. All assignments must be turned in no later than the assignment deadline or upon return. If you know your student's going to be absent in advance, please ask me for work ahead of time because I will be able to provide that for you. When your student turns in work late, students may require extra time on assignments by submitting an extra time request form. All extra time requests must be approved by Ms. Osborne, and procrastination will not be awarded extra time. There's also other excuses that the students and I have talked about, such as not being able to find the video or not being able to find your copy of the notes. There's extra copies of the notes located on my website that students can print out at any time. Homework may be turned in up to 2 days after the due date without penalty if the extra time request is turned in on the due date. All other assignments will be assigned a due date and a deadline. Assignments may be turned in up to the deadline if extra time request is turned in on the due date. This gives students who are busy with after-school practices or watching their siblings or other family emergencies more time than just the time that is allotted. Any assignments turned in after the deadline or assignments that are denied extra time will receive an 8-point deduction per day off their late grade and will require a late work form. Students that are missing 3 consecutive assignments without any documentation will be required to attend a tutorial to make up the assignments. Cell phones are only to be used according to Ms. Osborne's discretion and the Holly Springs High School BYOD policy. If cell phones are used or are visible at an inappropriate time, aka when we are not in a yellow zone or a green zone, or they are used in an inappropriate way when the cell phone is used during instructional time, the student will be asked to place the cell phone in a cell phone jail and remain in the child's possession. However, this will result in a loss of classroom BYOD privileges for that period. The second offense will result in a surrender of the phone to administration to be picked up by a parent at the end of the school day. If other consequences are required, it will follow the consequence sequence of the classroom, and if the student habitually breaks the policy, further consequences will be issued at the teacher's discretion. Students may at any time use any sort of classroom computers in lieu of cell phones for any class activity require any sort of technological device. Thank you for coming. Please be sure to sign in at the following link, and you can get any remind announcements by using the link on the side. Thanks for joining.